Hey! Hi, everyone. Welcome to the most wonderful real estate podcast ever. I'm your host, Dwan Twyford, and I am just so excited that you are here with me today. We're going to start straight off with having a toast. I am having some wine. It is my favorite Santa Margarita. Can you see it? There it is. Still my favorite. So, cheers. Here's to the end of the year. I do love that wine. Cheers to you. I want to celebrate the end of 2022. Woohoo! It's over. Thank the Lord. And I want to welcome everybody into 2023. We're going to have a great year. There's a lot of amazing things coming up this year, and I want you to be part of everything. So I am Dwan Twyford, America's most sought-after real estate investor. My podcast is called The Most Wonderful Real Estate Podcast Ever, and I'm just really happy that you're here with me today. Our motto here at Dwanderful is people before profits. So that's something that resonates with you. You're at the right place. It's the right time. I'm your girl. So I'm going into my 5th year of having my podcast. My 5th year of having my podcast. And listen, by the way, I'm still not number one. So let's get a little more likes and a little more listens and a little more sharing the love, because I can't be number one without you. And my goal was to have a number one podcast, and I'm used to getting things sometimes a little bit quicker. Sometimes, and certainly can't expect things to come any faster than they come. But I'm going into my 5th year, and I am dedicated to you. I'm not going to stop loving you guys and sharing and teaching and training, but you all got to love me back. Hit some 5-star reviews. I need more shares. I need you putting it out there, sharing it with your groups, and getting people to come on board and listen to me. I always teach you about how to become a successful real estate investor, and I also talk about just how to be good people. I think sometimes we just get so busy with things, we just forget how to be a really good person. So what do you think of my hair today? I got it all to the side. I got a new haircut, got some little sexy curls, got diamonds everywhere. Feeling pretty fancy today. So I figured it's a good year to end 2023. So today, we're going to focus on how to succeed in 2023. I'm going to give you 4 pieces of really solid advice. And I really want you to listen to what I'm saying. I want you to hear me. And I want you to, honest to God, I want you to implement what I'm getting ready to tell you. I have spent decades of my life doing some of these things that I'm going to talk to you about today, and I can promise you that you will have a better life if you will do these things I'm going to tell you about today. All right, so we're going to start off with my number one piece of advice for 2023. Stop caring about what other people think. Stop caring about what other people think. I'll give you some examples. We'll talk about my hair, because look at my hair. My hair is so much fun. Like, look at all this fun pink and purple. So much fun. So I have to say, and I did not expect this to happen, but I've got more compliments about my hair being this color than I've ever received in my entire life. Everywhere I go. I mean, honest to God, I go into a store, I go to a gas station, I go shopping. I go into the dentist. Everyone's like, oh my God, I love your hair, I love your hair, all the time. And this woman, and she just specifically stood out to me. She says, oh my gosh, I love your hair. She says, I would never be able to color my hair like that. My mom would kill me. Now, this woman looked a little bit older. So I said, well, how old are you? And she goes, I'm 50. And I said, so you're telling me as a 50-year-old woman, you wouldn't put hair color on your hair because even though you love it, because your mom would kill you. She said, oh yeah, my mom's almost 80. She would kill me and she'd never speak to me again. And I was like, first of all, you are 50 years old. Why do you still care what other people think? You should have outgrown that decades ago. And secondly, why would your mom kill you? And why would you let that stop you from doing something that you really want to do? She said, oh my gosh, my mom, she just really runs my life. And she went on and on and on. And I thought, who is still letting their parents run their life at that age? I am very blessed to have my mom and my dad. My dad's 85, my mom is 86. My little mama, who is my stepmother, she passed away this time last year, and she was 84. So I'm one of those people that's just real lucky. I'm 63 years old. I have my parents, and I feel super honored and super blessed by that. But there's no way on the face of this earth I'd want my parents to still be telling me what to do. It's like, so I talked to her just for a minute because I was really intrigued. And she said, oh, no, no, no. I care too much about what people think. If someone didn't like it or whatever. And I said, well, what do you do if someone doesn't like your hair now? She said, oh my gosh, if someone doesn't like my hair, I just have a meltdown about it. And she just went on and on and on. And I thought, what the hell's wrong with you? And I know that people are like, they say, oh, I tell my family I'm going to be a successful real estate investor. And my family doesn't give me any support. And they're like, no, that won't work. You can't do that. And they don't. Or someone on Facebook writes something negative about you. And you're like, oh my gosh, they didn't like this outfit, or they didn't like this, or they didn't like that. And I, especially because I'm on a lot of social media. When someone writes something negative about me, I just look at them and I'm like, oh, they're just so jealous. Like, they're so jealous, they don't know what to do. They're envious, they're jealous. Poor them that they have so much time to wonder what I'm doing. And they should just be focusing on their own thing. And you guys know, especially with trolls, that the more social media that's out there, which is so much, people always write negative comments, and they can say negative things about something you put up, or they don't like something, because they can get away with it. 99% of the stuff that someone writes, they would never, ever, ever say to your face. So why do you let people bother you? Who cares if someone doesn't like who you're dating? Who cares if someone doesn't like your hair color? Who cares if someone doesn't like your house or your car? There we go. I had a piece of hair sticking to my lip. Get that sticky lipstick on today. Who cares if someone doesn't like your career choice? Who cares if someone doesn't think being a real estate investor is a good thing for you? Who cares if someone says, oh, you can't be self-employed, that won't work for you? Like, honestly, who cares? And why do you still care? Now, we'll tell you, in all honesty, I cared in my 20s what everybody thought. I would ask 10 people sometimes before I'd make a decision about something. I cared in my 30s. I cared in my 40s. In my 40s is when I actually started being a national real estate speaker. And I'm not a conservative person. Like, you can tell by looking at me and my background, I am not a conservative person. But I hired someone to train me and teach me how to present and to be a speaker, because it was something I had never done before. And the first thing that Paul said, he's like, oh, your hair, you have to, because I was still doing the big blonde teased out 80s hair. He's like, oh no, you got to have a short conservative haircut. You can't get up on stage like that. You have to wear a suit. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to be conservative. People won't take you seriously. So for most of my 40s, although I loved being a real estate investor, I can't believe how much I loved being up on a stage and speaking and training and teaching. I was like, oh my gosh, I was made for this. And on the outside, though, I had to look so conservative. I had this short haircut, and I wore these suits and just so conservative. And I would look in the mirror and be like, ugh. But I'd go out there and teach and be my fun, wild self. I'm like, woo, I'm having fun teaching. This is great. But on the out, I didn't like the way that I looked. And so I thought, well, that's what I have to do because God forbid somebody might not like me. And that's what people think. And there's a lot of women speakers. So I really looked completely different than I felt on the inside because I wanted to fit into the box of being a speaker. So somewhere in like my mid 40s, I don't know, I went somewhere for a big weekend event. And it was one of those times where I flew in because I spoke in the afternoon. And normally I don't do that. I like to go a day ahead just in case, but for whatever reason. And I traveled in just a t-shirt and some jeans and some cowboy boots. I had a little makeup on, because I knew I was going to be getting there kind of close. I just had time to change my clothes and go downstairs. Well, as it turned out, my bag didn't come. So I go to the event and I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair's down and I've got makeup and I've got my jewelry and I got my cowboy boots and I got a blingy belt. And I go up to the person that's putting on the event to say, hey, listen, my bag didn't come. I'm going to have to give my presentation like this. Like, oh, it's fine. So I go up on the stage and I remember specifically saying, hey guys, I'm here, I'm Dwan, Ben Twyfer, and here we're going to talk about this. And I said, listen, my suitcase didn't come. So I apologize so much for being up here in jeans and a t-shirt. It's not normally what I would speak in. And so many people said, we like you better this way. We don't even know you, but we like you better. You look like a real person. All these people in suits are so stuffy. So then I was like, okay, the audience likes me better. So then I was like, okay, by a show of hands, how many of you like the casual Dwan versus the suit and tie that everybody else this entire weekend is wearing? And people were clapping and they were cheering. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm here all weekend. I'm wearing my jeans. So I wore them all weekend. And I never had such a good time up on the stage. I felt really comfortable. I was in my own clothes. And I felt like me. So I decided at that very moment that was it. I was not going to wear any more suits and ties. I was not going to dress for other people. They're asking me to come. They're asking me to present. And I'm going to look like I want to look. So I chopped up my hair. I got it all spiky. I started putting colors on it. I got a tattoo. And got my belly button pierced. And there's a bunch of stuff I've been wanting to do. But I was like, oh, I gotta fit into the mold. And I'm telling you, it was the most freeing thing. It was so freeing. And at that time, so this was like mid 40s. So this is 20 years ago. Holy cow. Everybody, men and women, all wore suits and ties and, the whole thing. And I told the people that would hire me, they say, hey, I want you to come speak at my event. I said, hey, I just need you to know I'm going to wear jeans and, I'll wear a nice shirt. And maybe, like, I love boutique shopping. So I'd go to boutiques and find these cute jackets and stuff. I said, but I'm not going to wear any more suits and ties. And a few people canceled me. And then I was like, well, I said, this is one of those moments where I had to make a decision. Like, am I going to sell my soul here or am I going to do what I want to do? I like speaking. I like training. I like teaching. And I want to feel comfortable. And I want a chair. Like, I started making them bring me like one of these director's chairs up in the front of the stage. It's like, listen, my issues with my back. I wear heels. I don't want to stand all day. I want a chair. I want to be able to sit down. I need this and this and this and this. And a few people canceled me. I was like, well, all right. And a few people, because you have to sign a contract to go speak, they would write in the contract like, I agree to wear a suit, and and I'd see that, and I would just exit out. And a few people were like, well, if you show up without a suit, I'm not letting you up on the stage. So I would just show up anyway. They all let me up on stage anyway. And then pretty soon, I see the next speaker. They're wearing like jeans and nice shirts, men. And then I'm seeing more and more and more, and they're casual, and they're more casual, and they're more casual. And now, based on things today, I was like, where was Gary Vee back then? Because Gary Vee's got like, sloppy shirt and a hat, and he's never shaven. Like, he looks like he could be homeless. But he is such a great speaker, and everybody in the world will have Gary Vee on their stage, and nobody would ask that man to wear a suit because he won't. But back then, 20 years ago, I was literally trailblazing because no one had ever heard of any speaker coming to a big event not wearing suits and ties. Now, I also spoke at the Learning Annex. I have a picture of him on my wall. I spoke at the Learning Annex. I'm sorry, the wine's giving me hiccups. I spoke at the Learning Annex, and I was up on the same stage with Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki and Susie Orman and all these people. Suits, ties, so nice. And here comes Dwan. I've got it on my little jacket I bought at a clothing boutique, and my jeans, and I swear, one time they actually said, I'm not letting you go speak. I said, well, I don't have anything to wear. We're in New York City, go buy something. So I did, because there was 10,000 people there, and I wanted to speak. But once I started standing my ground on my clothes and my appearance, I started standing my ground on more and more things. Now, obviously now, I mean, look, I've got pink hair, I've got purple hair, I've got big jewelry on, I got big old blingy stuff. I don't care what anybody thinks, because, I'm me. It's my podcast. If you don't like it, don't listen. Bottom line, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Someone can say something about me good or negative on the internet, and it doesn't matter. I don't lose sleep about it. I don't worry about it. I don't care. We bought 20 buildings in the last couple of years. I had so much flack from people like, you can't buy 20 buildings. That's a lot, blah, blah, blah. Like, people, not other investors, but like, people in my family. You can't do that. You could go bankrupt in one shot. What if this? What if that? What, blah, 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 and not supportive. I was like, look, I don't care. I'm sorry. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. I appreciate your opinion. If I want it, I'll ask for it, but I don't care. Like, it doesn't make any difference what you think. And now in my life, even today, it's like, I just don't care what people think. Someone can think something good, someone can think something bad. They can think I'm a great person, I'm a bad person. Some people think I'm a great investor. Some people, what she teaches is not ethical. It's like, I'm helping people that are in foreclosure. I go to homeowners. I look like this, and I'm sure they're probably like, this lady in the purple hair wants to help me save my house. I'm not quite sure. But it doesn't matter. When you stop trying to be in somebody else's box and be in your own box or outside of the box, you will be a much happier person. I promise you, on my life, you will be a happier person. So number one on my list of things is stop caring what other people think. Stop caring what other people think. It's not easy to initially do. Once you start and you feel more confident about your decisions, you'll never look back. So I'm telling you right now, I promise you that if you will stop caring what other people think, you will be happier. And really, in the end, we have to do what makes us happy, because we are the only ones that are responsible for our happiness. So if everything you're doing is to please other people, and you are a full-time people pleaser, and trust me, I've been in my 20s, I was a terrible people pleaser. Once you stop being a people pleaser, you'll be happier. You'll sleep better. You'll feel better. You'll have less stress. You'll have less anxiety. Your life will just be a better life. So stop. I go, Dwan, you don't know. I said, I do, honey, I know. I was a single mom. I got all kinds of advice from everybody. No one in my family supported my goals. And that's the next step, is don't expect other people to support your vision. God didn't give them your vision. God gave you your vision. And when I first started off in real estate investing, I did not have one person, not one person, nobody, friends and family, nobody thought it was a good idea. Nobody. Cheers. So, but I thought, well, I talked to these people. They find houses, they fix them up, and they sell them, which of course I thought was decorating at first. And I can have Ayla with me every day, and I can work on houses, and I can have her with me. I don't have to use daycare, and I work for myself. So I didn't see any downside. Now, I think one of my best assets back then is I was so naive because I did not know what rehabbing was. Thank God I did not know what I was actually doing, because I might have talked myself out of it, or I might have actually let someone else talk me out of it. But I thought, no, this sounds like a fun thing. And if I can make money at it, I can raise my daughter. I don't have to depend on other people. I don't have to have family babysit. I don't have to have this. I don't have to have that. I'm going to do it. I don't care what everybody else thinks. Now, after I did my first deal, they were like, oh, yeah, well, you got lucky. And these are people that love me and are supposed to support me. I made $50,000 on the second deal, and then the next deal was like 30 something. But anyway, within a year, I'd made like $125,000, and this is in the 90s, like 1991 ish. And like, oh my gosh, but can you do it again next year? I was like, well, I don't know. I think so. I'm gonna try it again. I kept going. And I was investing at least 5 years. And at this point, I've got a house. I bought a car. I've got a boat. I've got jewelry, like real diamonds, not blingy stuff. And I have real diamonds. I don't know. I just don't like to wear stuff anymore. I like to show off. And finally, some people in my family are like, hey, we'd like to invest with you. We'd like to put some money up on some of your deals and help you with some of your houses. That's like, but where were you the last few years? Non-supporting me. And that's okay, because here's the thing. God gives you your vision. He doesn't give it to other people. So other people will sometimes not support your vision. If they don't support your vision, it's okay. It doesn't mean it's not right for you. You really want to get ahead in 2023? Stop letting other people make decisions for you. Okay? Stop letting other people make decisions for you. I'm going to put my glasses on because I have a little bit hard time reading here without them. All right. So we're going to stop caring what other people think. It's harder than you think. I'm going to tell you right now, it's harder than you think. But once you really do it, you'll be like, oh, thank you, Lord, I listened to Dwan. Don't expect other people to support your vision because, again, God didn't give them your vision. He gave it to you. You do it. I'll tell you what, I support your vision. I will support you on not caring what other people think. You're having a hard day, you email me. You go in my group. You're in Mighty Networks. You say, hey, you go on my Faith in Him, having a hard day. I will support you. And if you have my support, you don't need anybody else. I got your back, man. All right, the next thing. So I want you to set realistic goals. If you really have not got started in real estate investing yet, and you're like, no, I really want to start. This is it. This is my year. I'm going to do it, Dwan. Yeah, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make $5 million this year. Honestly, it's not that you can't. I'm not going to ever be a naysayer, but it's probably not realistic. So set realistic goals. Like in 2023, maybe try to make $250,000. Like, go, okay, I'll make $250,000. That'd be a good goal. If you make $30,000 a deal, you do 10 deals next year, $300,000. That's a realistic goal. That's something that's really achievable. That's something that many investors can do straight up out of the gate. You can certainly do that if you're following me and getting on my webinars and doing things like that. So do set realistic goals. I have some people like, I'm going to make $10 million this year. I'm like, how are you going to make it? Well, I don't know. I'm just going to make it. So when you make a goal that's unrealistic and then you don't make it, then you feel like you failed and it's just a big ugly thing that you don't want to be involved in. You just don't. Set goals that are realistic, that you feel like you could accomplish for real. And honestly, a good goal would be $200,000 to $300,000 in the next 12 months. If you could make $200,000 or $300,000 in 2023, wholesale a couple houses, maybe rehab one, maybe keep a rental, and maybe do a subject to. If you could do that, I would feel like you set a good, realistic, reachable goal. And if you hit it, your confidence will go through the roof for 2024. Then maybe 2024, you're like, you know what? I'm going to make $600,000. And 25, like, you know what? I'm going to make $800,000. You're like, you know what? I'm going to go for $1 million. Because once you hit that $1 million mark, life will never be the same. So you can do it. And my last piece of advice for you is don't be afraid of failure, but also don't be afraid of success. Okay, a failure is not a failure. A failure is a lesson. If you start looking at your failures, and a failure could be anything, a deal fell through, a relationship didn't work out, you lost a job, you had a fight with someone in your family. I don't know. A failure could be anything. You're fighting with your kids, your spouse, I don't know, anything. You bid on some jobs and didn't get it, just whatever. You tried to lose weight and it didn't happen. You tried to quit smoking, it didn't happen. You tried to lose weight and it didn't happen. Just whatever it is. A failure, if you'll just take it and make it a lesson, it just helps you get one step closer to success. Now, then people sometimes are actually afraid of success as well. Oh my gosh, what will I do if I actually make $1 million? Like, what will I do? Well, I don't know. Invest it, buy rentals, help yourself become financially free, set yourself up for success, retire early. But I tell you what not to do. Don't start giving it to all your family and all your friends and get it all away, because then they'll just keep coming back and they'll want more out of you. So take care of yourself, get yourself set up. I mean, if you have some immediate need with your family, obviously. But people are afraid of failure, but people are equally afraid of success. And I have a recent situation that happened within my zone of close people, where someone I'm really close to was visiting with some relatives that they haven't seen for a while. And this person now is a successful investor and owns a bunch of rentals and splurged on a Louis Vuitton purse and drives a nice car and has a great family. And they were really put down by this group of family they hadn't seen for a long time. They're too good, they're too snobby, they're too this, they're too that. And I was like, girl, those people are just jealous. They're jealous. They make comments like, well, you used to hang out with us and party and now you don't. You used to do this and now you don't. It's like, okay, but here's the thing. They're still down here like hanging out and smoking weed and being stupid. You're up here buying rentals and being successful and taking care of your family and living someplace nice and getting yourself financially free. So they're here and you're there. Then there's this giant gap. So the only way to take in the gap is they either have to bring themselves up or you're going to bring yourself down. So if you're already up here, if you were here and you broke away from the herd and you're up here, these people down here don't like it. They start calling you all kinds of snooty and too good and think you're better than everybody else. And I started hearing that stuff decades ago, and I was just like, whatever. I wrote my first book, which I didn't self-publish. I got a book deal, short sale, pre-foreclosure investing. And people in my family were like, well, here comes Dwan, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. She's got a best-selling book. And people were making fun of me. And I was like, what is wrong with you? I studied, I learned, I wrote a book. It was a bestseller. Why would you not be like, woohoo, I'm so happy for you? So that started helping me kind of draw a line in the sand of the people I was going to take on the journey with me versus the people I was going to leave down here. So when you start getting more successful, these people will now say, you're too good, you're this, you're that, you've changed. You don't hang out and do stupid stuff anymore. It's like, well, it's because I'm up here and I'm working and I'm creating a future and I'm gaining financial freedom for myself and my family. And these people down here, just leave them. Because now there's a gap. You should, I'm a fan of Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's got a really great video on YouTube about the gap. Google it and watch it. Like, he tried to help people come up with him. He got people record deals, but they never failed. They never succeeded. They're always back down here. And there's this giant gap. He's like, well, these people want me to be back here and be the old guy, but I'm up here and I'm trying to bring them with me and they don't want to come. So there's a gap. So they come up or you go down. And trust me, when you've been here, you don't want to go back down. Break away from the herd. Break away from the herd. Be the buffalo. Walk through the storm, get to the other side, get your own life going. Don't let people bring you down, because people will try to bring you down more than people will edify you. So do not be afraid of failure. Take each failure as a learning lesson. And don't be afraid of success, because when you do get successful, There are going to be some people that are going to be left behind, and that's just the way life goes. You can't bring them all with you. They don't all want to go. They want you to stay here where they're comfortable. They become more comfortable around you because you're successful. And you know what? That's their problem. That is not your problem. And when you get up here and you got people down there trying to bring you down, oh, you know what? Call me. I'll be up here with you. I will ride the top of that wave with you because I want you to be successful. And the worst thing you can have is naysayers, old friends, family members that just keep trying to bring you down. And although they think they're doing you a lot of good by telling you you've changed so much, you know what? Be damn glad you changed. If I hadn't changed, let me tell you, in my 20s, I was storing cocaine, drinking champagne, I was bar hopping, I was sleeping around, I was all in on the disco. Think if I had not changed and I was still doing that, and I'm in my 60s. I'd be lucky. First of all, I'd be lucky I hadn't died or OD'd. I'm really, sometimes I look back and I'm surprised I didn't die in the first place. Or get date raped or some crazy thing as wild as this crowd I hung around with. But thank God I did change. And the thing is, hi, baby. Come here. Come say hi real quick. Mimi's recording, so you can just say hi. Right there. Look who came to visit me.
Hi.
Say hi, everyone. Happy New Year.
Everyone. Happy New Year.
I'm so happy to see you. I'll be up in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, Mimi.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. She's coming to stay all night. So, thank God I did change. I had friends since then that have OD'd. I've had friends that have died from all the problems because of all the drugs. I had a friend that got murdered. I had a few friends that went to rehab. And I was like, thank God I broke off away from the herd and I did change. But some of these people are still partying every weekend, spending all their money on beer and wine and drugs. And I'm over here, and yeah, maybe they think I'm too good, but I'm not too good. I just don't want to be down there. I broke off. I don't want to be back in the hole. I want to be up here. I want to be at the top of the mountain. So come up to the top of the mountain with me. So as you become more successful, you'll have more haters, you'll have more naysayers, and that's okay, because when you get up here, you'll make new friends and different friends. You'll hang around different people, and every one of those people will be your biggest support and will cheer you on to do better things. And I will be right there leading that trail with you. All right, so before we go, I like to read some 5-star reviews. Now, if you would like me to read one of your 5-star reviews, you're going to have to leave one. So if you'll leave me a 5-star review, I will eventually read it. I have a bunch of them right now, and I'm so excited to read them. So this one says 5 stars. Says so much inspiration. Dwan provides so much value. It's hard to believe this is free because I've learned a lot. If you're trying to build a successful business, make sure you tune in. Sue Woods from the United States. Thank you, Ms. Sue. I appreciate that good review. Oh, let's see here. Absolutely love it. The most wonderful real estate podcast ever. It's absolutely amazing. I have looked at so many other podcasts and resources about real estate investing, but this is by far the most informative. Thank you. Thank you for all the information you give us, and keep up the hard work. And that is Janet Roth from the United States. Thank you. I've got a lot of 5-star reviews, and I get really excited every time I get them, and I download them like, hey, I got more 5-star reviews. So I would like you to leave them. Leave one, share, and subscribe. Podcasts really are a labor of love, and we can't grow and we can't help and encourage more people unless you help. So if you learned anything, if you liked anything, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, subscribe, leave a review, and share with at least 2 friends. Also, I want you to go to the Dwanderful.com, Dwanderful, Dwanderful.com, and just opt in. I've got a free ebook. I've actually got 4 free ebooks there for you. And I'm going to send you a whole program, the top 7 real estate investing strategies for today's new market. So do that. And actually, not listening to this podcast will cause you to lose money, because I share all the inside tips and tricks and secrets to help you stay at the top of the real estate investing food chain. So don't forget, we'll be back. Oh, and just one more thing. Cheers to you. This is the last podcast of this year. So I'll talk to you next year. I know I hate when people say it's like really next year is like tomorrow, but I will talk to you next year. And we're going to keep up the good work. Cheers to you. I want you to have a happy and safe new year. No drinking, no driving. Nothing to get you in trouble. Celebrate at home this year. Too much crazy out in the world. And we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And remember that the truth is in the red letters. Ciao.